Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I'm your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And as you can see, we are in the new studio, ladies and gentlemen. You're gonna see weekly, it might be turning around where I am in the studio and whatnot while we get things straightened out here, shall we say. But, this week, I have 5 movies to review, 3 brand new in the cinema, including Hot Tub Time Machine 2, McFarland USA, and the DUFF. And also, 2 big winners from this week's past Academy Awards, Birdman and The Theory of Everything. Let's kick it off with another dip into Hot Tub. Yeah, here's my review of Hot Tub Time Machine 2. When one of the gang is murdered in the present, the boys decide to take another dip in the Hot Tub Time Machine in order to go back in time to save him. Surprisingly, they end up in the future of 2025, where they figure out where the murderer came from and try to find the culprit before he can go back in time to commit the crime. Got all that? Good. So what did I think of Hot Tub Time Machine 2? I thought it's a depressing comedy sequel. I enjoyed the first Hot Tub Time Machine and was actually looking forward to the sequel, but almost everything here fails. The jokes are obviously raunchy and repetitive, and all but a few fall flat, getting only a chuckle or 2 out of me. Unfortunately, this is one of those films where all the funny moments are shown in the trailers. While a lot could have been done with the characters going into the future, they decide they'd rather just party at a strip club. Classic. Also, the audience can kind of guess who the killer is before the big reveal. We also get some sappy husband-wife and father-son moments that sort of come out of left field. The film stars Rob Corddry as Lou, the jerk who goes back in time and invents Google, and making it Loogle, and becomes a rock god with Motley Lou, but then gets shot in the crotch at a party. Of course. Craig Robinson as Nick, Craig Robinson, my buddy, Lou's best friend who went back in time and rewrote and performed pop hits before they were released, such as Black Eyed Peas songs and Lisa Loeb. Clark Duke as Jacob, Lou's estranged son who becomes a big shot in the future. Adam Scott as Adam Yates Jr., Lou's nephew and the son of Adam, played by John Cusack in the first film, but here he gets the Sean Connery and Crystal Skull treatment with just a picture cameo. I think he was probably... That was good that he did not sign on for the second one. Jillian Jacobs as Jill, Adam's fiancée-to-be. Colette Wolfe as Kelly, Lou's wife, the tubular boobular Bianca Haas as Sophie, Jacob's future wife, and probably the best part of this movie, and Chevy Chase in a cameo as the Hot Tub Repairman. While fans might have been looking forward to Hot Tub Time Machine 2, there aren't enough laughs here to fill up the kiddie pool. I'm gonna give it the rating of... suck it. Yes, if you saw the preview, you saw the best parts. Okay, next up... The kids keep running. This is my review of the newest sports drama to hit theaters, McFarland USA. In 1987, a high school football coach and his family moved to McFarland, California, where he ends up coaching some promising students into a cross-country team. So what did I think of McFarland USA? I thought it's a pleasing sports drama based on a true story. I, by no means, am a big fan of running, so you definitely don't have to be a running buff to enjoy the film. All of the meets are well shot and keep our eyes glued to the screen as we root on our favorite characters. McFarland USA definitely worth giving a watch. Their training is fresh as well and shows over time how they go from being the underdogs to winning their first race and finally going all the way to states. The bonding between the coach and the students is done just right and isn't overly sappy. In order to understand their lives, he actually goes and experiences the everyday trials they go through picking fruits and vegetables in the fields. We also see how it affects the coach's family life, at home concerning how safe the area is and starting to put business before then. What's nice is we actually care about each member of the team and want to see them excel. Kevin Costner stars as Jim White, the high school teacher who believes he has the talent at the school to start a cross-country team. Maria Bello as Cheryl, Jim's wife, who begins to like the new area and makes friends. Morgan Saylor as Julie, the couple's 15-year-old daughter who has mixed feelings about McFarland. Carlos Prats as Thomas, the star runner of the team, who's having some trouble at home. And Ramiro Rodriguez as Danny, the slowest of the team, who never gives up. Inspirational and full of heart, McFarland USA crosses the finish line with cheers from me. I'm going to give it the rating of do it. And finally, new in theaters, are you looking for a new teen comedy out there, a high school comedy? Look no further. This is my thoughts on the DUFF. A high school senior whose friends are pretty high on the social scale is told by her neighbor that she's the duff of her friends, meaning designated ugly fat friend. Nice. Disgruntled by this, she strikes up a deal with the neighbor to help her break out of the duff status and become cool. So what did I think of the DUFF? I thought it's a fun high school comedy. This takes me back to the days of the 80s and even more recent films such as Mean Girls or Easy A. The gags are quite funny and I laughed a lot more than I expected to. At times, the film can also be heartfelt between the friendships of the girls, relationships with boys, and relationships with parents. It can even be inspirational at times, as it's very topical and has a lot of social commentary about current high school students with cyberbullying, social media, and having to be popular to fit in. Is the movie predictable? Could I tell you how it would end up halfway through the film? Yes, but there's enough new to weigh out what we've seen before. Mae Whitman stars as Bianca, the satisfied, straight-A film geek who learns she's the approachable one of her friends and wants to change. Whitman gives a standout performance here and has great comedic timing. Also in the cast, Robbie Amell as Wesley Rush, nice name there, Bianca's neighbor and childhood best friend who is now a popular jock but decides to help her out in exchange for tutoring. Bella Thorne as Madison, Wes's on and off girlfriend, are we? Who's the most popular and nastiest girl in school. Skylar Samuels and Bianca Santos as Jess and Casey, Bianca's best friends who she believes are duffing her. Allison Janney as Dottie, Bianca's motivational speaker mother. Nick Eversman as Toby, the boy Bianca has a crush on. And Ken Jeong as Mr. Arthur, a teacher who gives Bianca advice. The DUFF may feel like a trip down memory lane, but could easily be a new cult classic with teens. I'm going to give it the rating of do it. Yes, the DUFF is a lot more fun than I expected to have. That was probably the best thing I saw at the movies this week. Now, moving on, we have some films that were released recently on DVD. First, we're going to talk about a movie that won the Best Actor Academy Award this past week for Eddie Redmayne. This is my review of The Theory of Everything. The true life story of one of the most brilliant minds in the world, Stephen Hawking. So what did I think of The Theory of Everything? I thought it's an admirable biography drama. It covers all aspects of Stephen's life, from studying at university to becoming a cosmologist, to meeting the woman who would become his wife at a party, to realizing he's having problems performing everyday tasks dealing with movement. He's diagnosed with a motor neuron disease, which is a form of ALS, and given 2 years to live, which of course we know was wrong, in the words of Lex Luthor. There's obviously some science talk here as his theories of the universe and black holes are discussed. We also see his decline in health as he goes from crutches to being confined to a motorized wheelchair and learning to use a spell board to speak, and then eventually moving on to a speaking computer. The main attraction of the film, though, is the relationship between Stephen and his wife Jane, seeing the complications of their marriage. Eddie Redmayne does a fantastic job playing Stephen Hawking and is easily worth all the buzz surrounding the performance. Toward the end of the film, he communicates mostly through his eyes and blinks, and it's quite powerful. Felicity Jones also does great work as Jane Wilde Hawking. Stephen's wife, who stands by him and says they'll get through it together. Both Redmayne and Jones have earned their Oscar nominations for the work and deserve it, and of course we know Eddie won the Oscar for Best Actor. Also in the cast, Charlie Cox as Jonathan, the choir leader at church who Jane brings around the house, Maxine Peake as Elaine, Stephen's eventual caretaker, and David Thewlis as Dennis Schema, Hawkins' professor and one of the fathers of cosmology. The Theory of Everything is a good film, not exactly out of this world, but worth watching for the performances. I'm going to give it the rating of do it. Definitely check this out for Eddie and Felicity's performances. Alright, and finally this week, we're going to talk about a movie that won Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, my review of Birdman. A former comic book movie action star attempts to relaunch his career by directing, writing, and starring in a play adaptation of one of his favorite books. Of course, in the last few days before the play makes its big debut, things begin to go wrong. So what did I think of Birdman? I thought it's an astounding comedy drama. When this film was finished, I sat in stunned silence, trying to think about what I had just seen, and all I could say was, wow. Visually, the film is spectacular, making it appear as though the movie was shot in one take, with its continuous camera movement following the characters through the hallways of the theater and out onto the streets of New York. The story is packed with different great elements, from the star trying to make things right with his estranged family before going further down into a downward plunge, to trying to figure out if he really has superpowers such as flying and kinetic energy, or if he's just that crazy. When the credits roll, there is a lot to think about and many different ways to interpret the ending. It also has a bunch of social commentary on today's superhero blockbusters and takes shots at the age of Twitter and YouTube. The amazing cast, which I'd say is the best ensemble of 2014, stars Michael Keaton as Rigging Thompson, the washed-up actor famous for his Birdman films, trying to rejuvenate himself as a Broadway star. It's also humorous that Keaton himself played Batman around the same time his character would have starred in the Birdman series. Also included are Zach Galifianakis as Jake, Riggins' best friend and lawyer, Edward Norton as Mike Schreiner, a popular method actor who tends to fly off the deep end, Emma Stone as Sam, Riggins' daughter who just got out of a stint in rehab and is serving as his assistant, Naomi Watts as Leslie, an actress who's making her Broadway debut, Andrea Riseborough as Laura, an actress and Riggins' girlfriend, and Amy Ryan as Riggins' ex-wife. It can get quite bizarre, but Birdman is one of the most unique films I've ever seen. It keeps us wanting more, and if you're a fan of cinema, this is a must-watch. I'm going to give it the rating of A-list approved. It gets the A-list seal of approval. My favorite movie of 2014. Alright everybody, that does it for this week. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to me right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/WestsideOf515. You can like me on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTroopAlist. Follow me on the Twitter and the Instagram @WesAlist. And of course, you can buy my brand new 2014 Movie Review Yearbook. Only $10, over 150 reviews. That's right, 150. Alright, yeah, contact me through Facebook or Twitter if you are interested. Next week, I'll be looking at a few different movies. We'll be looking at Focus, starring Will Smith, and also The Lazarus Effect with Olivia Wilde. Yeah, and also a few more DVD releases. Alright, until next time, Troop out.